General Hospital spoilers teases that Valentin has never been the type of man to easily admit his mistakes, but this time, he cannot continue hiding his past. New traits in him are becoming more evident than ever, a change that is inevitable after everything he has been through. Once someone who always hid in the shadows, controlling everything to his will, Valentin has now decided to step into the light, confront the truth, and face the crazy actions he has taken in the past. No one can deny that Valentin has done terrible things. He has manipulated people, deceived those he loved most, and climbed to the heights of power in ways that no one could imagine. He once believed that as long as he was smart enough, clever enough, everything could be controlled. But now, everything he once believed in is slowly collapsing. He cannot run forever, cannot continue hiding the things he has done. However, if there's one thing Valentin cannot forgive, it is Brennan's betrayal. If he could once accept enemies trying to bring him down, or face those trying to destroy him, with Brennan, everything is different. He's not just a traitor, he's the one who pushed Valentin to the brink, turning him into a hunted target, making him lose everything he once held dear. But the worst part isn't what Brennan did to him, it's what he did to Charlotte. Brennan didn't just try to destroy Valentin, he dared to touch the one Valentin loves most. That sparked an uncontrollable rage in him. If Valentin had once been calculating, trying to stay calm to find a solution, now, all patience has disappeared. For the first time in his life, Valentin doesn't care about the consequences. He doesn't care about being hunted, doesn't care if this could put him in even more danger. All he cares about now is making Brennan pay. Valentin is no longer the man he once was, he has changed, and this time, he has no intention of stopping. The secrets he once kept hidden are now his most powerful weapons to take down Brennan. He knows all of his dark secrets, how he manipulates the WSB, how he created a network of power in the shadows to serve his own purposes. He knows what Brennan did to Sonny Corinthos, knows he's the head of pikemen, and knows what he hid from Anna. But this time, he doesn't want to play the cat-and-mouse game anymore. He won't just expose Brennan to the public, he will destroy him completely. Brennan might think he still controls the situation, that he can still manipulate everything like before. But he doesn't realize that Valentin is no longer the person he once knew. No more cold calculations, no more extreme caution. Now, Valentin has only one goal, to push Brennan to the brink of collapse, to make him kneel and pay for everything he has caused. Valentin's hatred for Brennan is no longer an outburst of anger, it's a real storm, a storm that has been building over time, through betrayal, through the losses he's suffered. Valentin knows a real battle is coming, and this time, he won't just stand by and watch. He will enter the game, and he won't stop until Brennan is completely destroyed. But is this the right path? Will hatred lead him to victory, or just further down a darker path? And when the storm passes, will Valentin have anything left to hold on to, or will he lose himself in his thirst for revenge? One thing is certain, this battle will not end peacefully. Once Valentin has made up his mind to act, there is no turning back. And this time, Brennan won't have a chance to escape. Valentin has thought long and hard about how to bring Brennan down. No more covert schemes or long psychological battles, this time, he needs a strong, decisive method. Brennan has caused him too much pain, has manipulated his life, and most importantly, he has put Charlotte in danger. This is no longer a battle for honor or power, but a life-or-death struggle, a fight in which only one person can survive. Valentin's plan is detailed step by step. He has studied Brennan's movement habits, knowing when he usually drives himself, especially in the evening when he wants to avoid public attention. This creates the perfect opportunity to execute his plan. A bomb will be placed in Brennan's car, a trap he cannot escape. Valentin doesn't want to just kill Brennan, he wants him to experience extreme pain, to realize that he himself is the one who triggered this destruction. Valentin carefully sets the explosive device under Brennan's car, ensuring it will activate as soon as he starts the engine. No signs will warn Brennan of the danger awaiting him. Once everything is ready, Valentin silently leaves the scene, choosing a safe spot to watch the entire plan unfold. When Brennan steps out to the parking lot, he has no idea that he is only seconds away from death. He opens the car door, sits in the driver's seat, and prepares to start the engine. But just as he places his hand on the key, a strange sense of unease rises within him. He hesitates for a brief moment but then continues with the familiar motion he has made thousands of times before. A loud explosion shakes the parking lot. Brennan's car erupts into a fireball, the blast's pressure throwing everything around. Debris from the car flies everywhere, flames erupting, turning the area into chaos. Alarm sirens blare as people panic and rush out of Metro Court, where the explosion happened. But what Valentin didn't anticipate happened. Brennan is still alive. The force of the explosion threw him from the car, and his body suffered severe injuries. But the most horrifying part is the severe burns covering much of his face and body. His skin is charred, one side of his face almost completely deformed, his eyes filled with pain and fury. He screams in panic, struggling against the excruciating pain ravaging his body. From the shadows, from a hidden corner, Valentin watches it all. He sees Brennan writhing in the wreckage, sinking into despair and agony. Part of him wants to step out, to see him face this nightmare. But another part whispers to him, no, not yet. He has declared war, but this battle isn't over. In his panic, Brennan can't seem to understand what happened. An attack against him? But who? Who would dare strike? Rage rises within him. He once controlled everything, once manipulated everyone, but now, he's the victim. And that makes him angrier than ever. When the emergency team arrives, Brennan is taken to the hospital in critical condition. The doctors try to save him, but the severe burns make it difficult for him to recover as he once was. The man who was once one of the most powerful is now nothing more than a ruined corpse, but this only makes him more dangerous than ever. In the hospital, as the lights flicker in the emergency room, Brennan opens his eyes for the first time since the explosion. The pain rips through his mind, but the only thing he can think about is one name, Valentin. This explosion wasn't just a warning, it was a declaration of war. Brennan knows Valentin was the one who struck, and he swears he won't let this end here. If he once saw Valentin as a dangerous rival, now he has a reason to return with an even stronger thirst for revenge. Meanwhile, Valentin also understands that he has stepped into a war with no retreat. He doesn't regret it, doesn't falter, but he knows Brennan won't stop. And that means this battle will continue to escalate. The question is Valentin truly ready for what's coming next? Is he prepared for the counterattack of a man who has lost everything and has nothing left to lose? One thing is certain, this explosion is not the end, but only the beginning of an uncontrollable storm. Brennan won't back down, and neither will Valentin. And when these two forces collide, Port Charles will never be the same again. Anna had never imagined she would witness such a scene, an act of cruelty, an irreversible decision, and above all, a terrifying transformation in Valentin. She knew he had his dark sides, aware that he had done things she couldn't accept. But this time, she couldn't stop herself from feeling betrayed when Valentin had truly crossed a line she never thought he would go beyond. The car explosion involving Brennan wasn't just a warning, it was a real crime. When the news of the attack spread, Anna felt that something was wrong. And when she witnessed the horrific aftermath of the explosion, seeing Brennan motionless with severe burns, a cold shiver ran down her spine. She didn't want to believe it, but deep down, she knew there was only one person who could have orchestrated this, Valentin. Anna had always placed a special trust in Valentin. She knew he wasn't innocent, but she believed he still had some humanity left, still had the ability to choose the right path. But now, seeing the consequences of what he had done, she realized he was no longer the man she once trusted. He had changed in a way she couldn't accept. The explosion wasn't just about the crime Valentin committed, it was also about how it had completely shattered whatever was left of their relationship. When Anna confronted Valentin, she couldn't hide the anger and disappointment in her voice. She wanted to know why he did this, why he allowed hatred to control him to the point of committing such a brutal act of murder. But what shocked her more than Valentin's actions was how he responded to her accusations. Valentin didn't show any remorse. He looked at Anna coldly, as if she couldn't possibly understand what he had been through. He didn't deny what he had done, he didn't even try to justify it. To him, this wasn't a crime, it was a just punishment. Brennan didn't deserve to live after everything he had done. But that didn't relieve Anna. In fact, it made her feel more distant from Valentin than ever before. The tension between them quickly reached a boiling point. Anna couldn't accept the path Valentin had chosen, while Valentin couldn't understand why she opposed what he believed was unavoidable. For Anna, this was a clear line between right and wrong. For Valentin, it was the only choice he had. But the worst was yet to come. Anna knew the explosion didn't just put Valentin in danger, it also put her in a difficult position. If she stayed silent, she would become an accomplice. But if she spoke out, she would be betraying the man she once loved. She felt torn between her duty as an agent and the personal feelings she still had for Valentin. But one thing Anna knew for sure, her relationship with Valentin could never go back to what it was. He had changed, and she wasn't sure if she could trust him anymore. Once blood had been spilled, there was no turning back. And this time, perhaps Anna would have to make the final decision about Valentin's fate. Their confrontation had reached a whole new level. Valentin may have accepted that there was no turning back for him, but Anna wasn't ready to give up on him. Yet, she also knew that if he continued down this path, sooner or later, she would have to choose between protecting him or stopping him. And as the darkness continued to consume Valentin, Anna knew that time was running out for her to make a decision. One thing was certain, this story wouldn't end without a final battle. And this time, Anna and Valentin might stand on opposite sides, in a battle no one wanted but was inevitable. Anna had never been a woman easily manipulated or forced into a passive position. She had spent her entire life fighting criminal forces, facing the most dangerous individuals, and uncovering dark plots. But this time, she was facing a battle unlike any she'd faced before. She had to choose between protecting the man she once loved and eliminating a dangerous enemy who could threaten everything. She knew Valentin had carried out a brutal attack on Jack Brennan, a carefully calculated act of revenge. But even though Valentin had tried to cover his tracks, he left behind evidence, pieces enough to reconstruct his entire plan. And Anna, with the sharp instincts of a seasoned agent, had gathered them bit by bit. The irrefutable evidence Valentin had left behind was a double-edged sword. Not only could it be used against him, but it could also become the strongest weapon she could use against Brennan. Anna understood that Brennan wasn't the true victim, he was the one behind a string of dirty schemes, someone who had manipulated the WSB and had dangerous connections in the criminal world. If Anna could use the evidence from Valentin's attack skillfully, she could not only weaken Brennan but also expose his darkest secrets. Anna knew Valentin had left traces, fingerprints on some of the explosive devices recovered from the scene, footage from security cameras showing suspicious movements around Brennan's car, and especially, encrypted messages between Valentin and a mysterious figure involved in Brennan's destruction plan. These were the kinds of evidence that could charge Valentin, but if used correctly, they could also corner Brennan. Anna had no choice but to play this dangerous game. She went to see Brennan while he was still in the hospital, his face disfigured from severe burns. He was full of hatred, but his usual arrogance hadn't left him. When Anna entered the room, he sneered, his voice dripping with sarcasm. "Here to arrest me, Agent Devane? Or are you here to see if I'm still breathing?" Anna didn't let herself be provoked. She placed a stack of documents on the table, her gaze unwavering as she looked straight at Brennan. "We both know you're not innocent in this," she said, her tone icy. "And I have everything I need to take you down." Brennan raised an eyebrow, but as he flipped through the pages, the smile faded from his face. Inside were the pieces of evidence Anna had collected, evidence linking him to pikemen, weapons deals, and secret assassination plans. But the most chilling thing was that among them were details about shady financial transactions he had been trying to hide for years. Anna didn't need Valentin to act again, she just needed Brennan to know that he had lost his advantage. She had everything to turn him into a hunted man. And that terrified him. Brennan clenched his fists, his eyes flashing with anger. He wasn't the type of man to be easily cornered, but this time, he knew he was trapped. Valentin may have tried to kill him with a bomb, but it was Anna who now held the weapon that could destroy him completely, the truth. "What do you want?" Brennan growled, trying to remain calm. Anna crossed her arms, her voice unshaken. "I want you to disappear. No power, no influence, no chance to continue your games. If not, everything I have will go straight to those who can make that happen for me." Brennan gritted his teeth, knowing he didn't have many options. If he continued to resist, he could be completely wiped out. But if he agreed, he would have to give up everything he had built. Anna had cornered him. She didn't need to fire a shot, didn't need to use force, just the right evidence, and she had the whole game in her hands. But what she hadn't anticipated was that Brennan wasn't someone who would be easily pushed into a corner without fighting back. He might lose a battle, but he would never accept losing the war. And if Anna wasn't careful, she might be the next target on his list. Anna had made a bold move, but it also put her in another dangerous position. She had used evidence from Valentin's attack to take down Brennan, but in doing so, she may have unintentionally placed Valentin in trouble. Valentin would certainly not be pleased to know that Anna had exploited his mistake to achieve her own goal. This raised the question, was Anna truly on his side, or had she become a new opponent? The story wasn't over, it had only just begun. With Brennan cornered, Valentin potentially exposed, and Anna standing between two men willing to do whatever it takes to protect themselves, one thing was certain, the tension was rising, and Port Charles was about to witness a storm bigger than ever before.